I'm determined to get my 50 cents worth out of these palette knives. Moshi. I have faded Mendy on my finger.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Welcome to Spazz After Dark. If you are new here, I am Spazz. I run Spazzatic Studio. I am Spazzatic Studio. And this is the second channel where we get ecologically friendly. I've actually been filming all day for Patreon content, specifically about like empties and no buy year and eco-friendliness. Why are we on the floor today? I wanted to show you guys these. Okay, as I talked about in my kind of like intro to the no buy year, I basically organized all of my art supplies into two wonderful little bins. So the point of the no buy year this year, specifically in the vein of art supplies, is that I want to get through these two bins. There's a lot going on in these bins. There's like beading stuff, there's fabric scraps, there's scrapbooking things, there's felt, there's clay, there's just friggin' everything. A variety of Mod Podges. I unfortunately am a victim of forgetting where I put something, not being able to find it, and then going and buy a double. And you may yell at me about that in the comments, because it is my fault. This is kind of the bottom half of my closet where my clothes are, so please excuse everything else we got going on down here. I only have one closet per room in this condo, so until my brother moves out and I can steal his closet, I am unfortunately kind of just like, I've just got everything everywhere. Okay, now, why are we down here? If you are an enthusiast of DIY, like cards and party decor and crafts, or you just like to host, you probably notice that in addition to the regular sort of boxes of crap that you probably have in your closet, you also may have a lot of party decor. And something that I really don't like about party decor is if you have a thematic party or a party for people of like specific ages, you end up having to throw out a lot of your like decor because it's designed to be single use and it's kind of designed to be thrown away. And a lot of times, like, you're not going to save, for example, like, you know, a 50-year-old like party decorations for 50-year-old's birthday for the rest of your life. You probably don't have the storage space to like accommodate that. So while I have segmented these two things into general bins, I have also created a party box. And in the spirit of kind of like resisting single-use buying and resisting overbuying and resisting overcluttering, I figured that I could show you today how to make a party box. We're just gonna like So what is a party box? This is my party box. This contains all of the decor purchased or handmade that I bust out for every kind of gathering. And specifically, I use this for birthday parties, general hosting, so think like dinner parties, D&D, general celebration. So it could be, again, a birthday party, or for example, when we celebrated Mr. Studio's CPA acceptance with friends. And this also works for Christmas, and it's got a couple sort of fall-themed decorations for the fall as well. So I think you could use it for Halloween. It is also sort of my box where I keep like extras that are left over. So I have like these little colored balloons. I also have a couple like random candles that are either like half burnt but can be used again, or like mismatched like sets, number candles that can be used again. And a lot of this box is actually handmade. If you're a big fan, okay, of the Garland trend that came about sort of around Christmas of 2025, where people were using like making a lot of sort of paper chain-esque garlands and things. You may have like made the garlands and then kind of been like, oh shit, what do I do with this? And I know, speaking from personal experience, I did make some paper garlands, and because I couldn't store them, I ended up donating them to a local like family run little business so that they could use them for decor, because they have like a children's like play area. So it worked out great. So the point of the party box essentially is that you're going to have 5% leftover random stuff. The other 95% is going to be reusable, basically could be store-bought, but I prefer handmade items that you know create basically a comprehensive decor structure on which to follow. So I'll quickly give you a little tour of the box. This is my little felt star garland. I used a bunch of fast scrap fabric and like leftover felt. So I felted these little stars. I felted these little balls by hand. There you go, used up all my felt. There's also this kind of felt. I used some leftover beads, and all of these sort of colors were from a jelly roll that I was gifted, but because I don't quilt, I knew I wasn't gonna make a quilt. So this is actually Harry Potter themed. So you can see wisdom for Ravenclaw. I'm definitely a Ravenclaw. I used all these little seed beads as well. This one says it's Leviosa, and I like the Harry Potter theming on this because I can use it for Halloween or Christmas. I think that a lot of people think that Harry Potter is a Halloween thing. It is very much like there's a lot of like Christmas theming in Harry Potter. Something else that I made for my Christmas tree and that I later turned into a garland is these. They're just dried little orange slices. And I had some extra old-timey looking paper and some extra scrap fabric, so I turned it into bows and these little stars. And I have different sort of lengths. These can go beyond just Christmas decor. I use them for my birthday. I use them for my Valentine's Day party, which we're gonna get into. I also took some extra little handmade, aren't these cute? I made these with leftover random Christmas like wrapping paper and bows and stuff, and this was the bulk of my jelly roll. I basically made a paper chain with them, and then I'll show you how I made these, but these are like the fake sort of embossed like tinfoil stars. And so once Christmas was over, I kept these anyway because they're just so cute and fun. Like I made all kinds of different stars. I made bigger stars and I made littler stars, and basically the layout for how I decorate with these, I will superimpose it here, but essentially it's a bunch of like layered garlands all together to give the effect of having these like paper chain-esque garlands. And specifically for my Valentine's Day party, because it was still fresh out of the winter, it was a bit of like a Christmas and Valentine's Day get together. And so our craft, I like to have my friends come over and do a little craft, and the little craft that we ended up doing was to make felted Christmas crowns. And you can also do birthday crowns specifically for kids. I think it's really fun. So I basically had a buffet style, like my kitchen table. I made a bunch of little crowns out of felt and fabric. I set it up, I decorated with my garlands, and then I DIY'd a bunch of the food. Before we kind of like go ahead with like more sort of decor stuff, a note on the food. I think if you are interested in like fermenting like sourdough bread or pickling things or doing a fermented pickle like a pao tsai, you definitely should, because it opens up the horizons to what kind of food you can make for a party on an extreme budget. Basically everything that I make that is like refreshments for the party is either my homemade like ginger beer with the ginger bug. You can literally just like get some fizzy water or make some yourself if you have a soda stream, dump the ginger bug in, and you have a really nice, refreshing and fun and gut healthy ginger beer. I always make something with sourdough, and I always try to like utilize my pickles as well. If you follow me on TikTok, and you should, my ad is SPAZZIES, you will see that I upload a lot of cooking videos, and one of them specifically for the Valentine's Day party was basically I made a really fun like a chip cooterie. So it was a layer of chips and then a layer of like cheap canned sardine, a little bit of like grated cheese. I used Parmesan, but you can even go like slightly cheaper, get like a white sharp cheddar. It almost tastes exactly like Parmesan. I used a bunch of my pickled red chilies and my pickling liquid, and yeah, and I just made like everything I made was like sourdough or a ferment or something. So you should follow me on there if you want some like really fun little like cooking adventure videos. The point of the party box is basically to A, avoid having to buy new decor, B, utilizing decor that you already have, and C, like being able to basically just easily like throw up decorations and also easily store things because it all fits in this like tiny little box. I like that this was made with Fab scrap brick. I did it again. Oh my god. This is like my double W thing all over again. Just cannot speak English. Basically stuff that like I already had because it was essentially free. And I think the best kind of party box will be made of just random crap that you like already have in your house. My like big sort of adventure was figuring out how to make these embossed tin stars the cheapest way possible without having to buy anything new. And essentially I settled on using just like a shiny cardstock paper for the back and layers of tin foil that I could then emboss. And then I just took some watered down paint to make them look aged, and I just kind of like filled in the cracks. So this video will sort of cut away because we will look at how specifically I made the tin stars, and I'll show you the crowns. So these are basically the crowns. They're made of scrap fabric in the front and felting in the back, and they're adjustable with the little ribbon. So they fit literally everybody. You just like tie it in the back and you've got yourself a little crown. Again, because my sort of go-to Christmas theme is Harry Potter-esque. Oh, which by the way, mandatory disclaimer, JK Rowling, see you in hell. But I made kind of like little yellow ones for the Hufflepuffs among us. I had some beautiful little green ones for the Slytherins. And then I had red for Gryffindor. And I think we used up all of the blue ones. Yeah, I think we used up all of the blue ones that I had for Ravenclaw, but you can see like I had all of these like fun little red sort of, I think I had 3 of them, fabrics. Oh yeah, and then I made Binky. So this thing kind of like wraps in the front, so it's like a little cowl. He looks like a pizzaiolo. But like this was basically the concept of having like the seed beads and stuff, was people could like spell out their names, they could do a little embellishment. Other things that are in my box, like I have 2 little mechanical candles. I don't know if these, oh yeah, okay, it still works. I have these like little mechanical candles that I literally use at every party ever. Some just like random paper ornaments that, you know, they're still good. And then I have like these table runners. Like I have a green table runner. Here, I'll show you. There's a blue table runner. Oh my god. A blue table runner. There's my paper decoration from my birthday party of I think 2 years ago. And then I kind of just keep everything, like I still have even the little like congratulations grad thing from when I graduated college, because there's always somebody kind of graduating and there's always somebody having a birthday. I think my like official tips, if you want a party box that really is like simple, doesn't require you, I guess, to hold on to things that are not useful later on down the line, but that are also like always sort of evergreen, it's definitely like buy things that are kind of like very general. So for example, like if you know somebody's gonna graduate as a doctor, maybe maybe don't go for the decor that is very like doctor focused. Just go for some general like congratulations grad stuff, because that stuff you can use for literally anybody who's graduating. Obviously, if you're celebrating like a specific holiday, if you know that like you're gonna be doing a Hanukkah party, don't be like, well, I have Christmas decorations, so it's good enough. Like, when it comes to stuff like that, you do kind of want to be a little bit more like intentional and specific. But even then, like, a lot of Hanukkah decor is blue, so you can do like a lot of fun holiday blue theme decor without even necessarily having it say Hanukkah, if you decide that you don't celebrate it often enough to warrant having like a whole sort of Hanukkah section. Because the party box, the point of the party box is to remain small, right? You don't really want your party box to inhabit a giant bin. You want your party box to be small. And it is a very fun and like eco-friendly way, and also a very budget-friendly way to like be able to host genre à vos goûts, like host like according to your tastes, English, while also not having to like perpetually buy single-use plastics and then like throw them away. And like additionally, we're back with the palette knife.
I'm back in the fucking building again!
Additionally, if you're worried about sort of things like paper plates and cutlery, I like to go to the dollar store. A long time ago, I bought little like shitty glass champagne flutes from the dollar store, and I decorated them with a little bit of ribbon, and those are my go-to like party cups. You can go to the Dollarama and get stuff that's like made of glass. It's not going to be like the most perfect, wonderful, beautiful quality, but it's dishwasher safe and it can be reused. I keep a little section in my kitchen because I do a lot of cooking and gifting of food, and because I do a lot of meal preps for people that they pay me to do. I have sort of a little section of my kitchen where I have like reusable and also single-use like plastics and Tupperwares and cutleries and things. If you don't have space in your kitchen, you could also add that to the party box. And I think at that point, I would probably recommend actually like paper sort of plates and utensils that you can recycle once your party is finished. But at least it won't be like glass that risks like breaking. Like it gets bulky, you know. I have about 20 of those little champagne flutes. Keeping them in the party box would really, I think, severely limit the space that I have for other things that I absolutely want to include in the box. So again, you want to keep it like relatively small and lightweight, and the idea is that it is the easiest possible avenue for you to do the setup and the takedown of your party. So I will send you over to VoiceOver Studio to show you how I kind of DIY'd the more like fiddly kind of elements of my garlands, and I will see you for the outro. Alrighty, VoiceOver Studios here. So I'm going to show you how I made the tin embossed stars. Again, this was a 2025 Christmas trend, and basically I wanted a way to do it with stuff that was readily available to make a whole bunch at once without having to buy basically the aluminum food trays that people have been buying. And the reason I didn't want to use those was because you have to have the tools to smooth out the wrinkles, and I really didn't want to buy more tools. So all you need for this craft is some kind of glue. I used Mod Podge because that's what I had, but you'll need a glue, a little roll of tin foil, some kind of template for your star, some kind of card stock, or just a heftier sort of thickness paper just for the back. You don't even have to make the backs sort of gold like I did for the more like gilded effects. Optional if you don't have like liquid glue, you can also substitute for a glue gun. I used a glue gun on the edges, so if you have both, even better, but you can basically just do either or. And then you'll need literally anything with a point that isn't going to rip your tin foil. So I used a little nail art like tools, the ones with the steel balls on the end, but you can literally just use like the end of a paintbrush or even a pencil. So the reason that we need liquid glue is basically we're just gonna
pull up a big sheet of tinfoil, and this really depends on how many embossed objects you want to make, and you're gonna spread an even layer of glue on each of the layers, almost like you're making a glue and tinfoil lasagna. And you want to make sure that the liquid glue covers, or if you're using the glue gun, the entirety of the middle of your tinfoil, because we don't want to cut into our layers and then have the layers separate. And you want to basically just keep going with this until you have a really solid sheet of glued together tinfoil that looks like it can be embossed. So if you don't have a glue gun, that's fine, but you definitely need some form of liquid glue. And when you cut it, if you do have little segments that kind of separate, that's okay too. You can just add a little bit of glue around the borders and they'll kind of refuse together. So as you can see, this is about a 1/4 inch thick, and we're just going to give it a little massage to make sure that the glue spans the whole tinfoil and all the layers. So next you'll take a template of whatever shape you want to cut out, and if you want to do the same stars as me, you can check out my website's downloadables page. You're going to go onto paper templates and you can download exactly the star that I used to do this craft. And since I want to make good use of the whole sheet, I'm basically just measuring out how many of my template stars I could possibly produce from one sheet of the tinfoil. So you can just mark around with your dotting tool or whatever you're using to emboss, and then you can cut them out. And using your template, you'll also want to cut out a backing. So mine were a shiny gold cardstock that I had, but you can even use cardboard if you want to make it even cheaper. If you have a glue gun, now is a really good time to pull it out to basically stick your cardstock backing or your cardboard backing onto your metal star. And now we can move on to embossing. So now, using whatever blunt edge tool you chose, this is my nail art daughter, you can emboss. So you basically gently press and it'll indent your tinfoil, and then that's how you get your design. If you want to make your stars easily hangable like mine are, I used a regular hole puncher to just punch a hole in the topmost peak of the star. And now you're done. You can stop here, but because I wanted to give mine a really vintage rustic look, I watered down a little bit of black acrylic, and I basically just did a really quick wash, making sure to get in the crevices so that instead of looking like shiny new tinfoil, it kind of looked like old tin.
Wow. I don't know what clips I included yet, but wow, truly inspiring stuff. Thank you for joining me. I wanted to make a quick little video about the party box. I kind of spent the whole Christmas and New Year's season developing the concept and trying out a ton of crafts, and so I've had this backlog of footage, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it, but I knew that I really wanted to show you guys the party box proper, and kind of all of the very effective but low budget options that you can use to effectively host on a budget. So it's just a little video. I know it's shorter than my usual videos, but hopefully it is not any less detailed. So yeah, if you want to continue going on DIY adventures with me, perhaps check out the TikTok as Spazzatic Studio. Perhaps check out the Instagram as Spazzatic Studios Creations. I would be remiss to tell you, or rather to not tell you, that we are doing another Tin and Tea event in July. There was a demand to do another one, so we're doing another one. You can come and decorate an Altoid wallet if you're in the Montreal area. The atelier is hosted by me. We are doing it in English and in French, and it's a 2-hour guided craft. So please email me. I will put all of the information in the description if you would like to pre-register so that I can send you the information to basically pre-book and prepay the deposit for your ticket. It's going to be really fun, and all of the proceeds go towards buying aid for Cubans in need in Cuba. And also, as a thank you bonus, I am going to be buying everybody a boba. So if you show up to the atelier, you get 1 free bobage. Otherwise, if you're interested in mutual aid in general, perhaps check out the Patreon $5 tier. If not the regular Patreon, there's free drops. July is gonna have, I think, like 4 different free downloadables. It's gonna be a really good month. So patreon.com/SpazzaticsStudio, and please remember that my URL has moved. We are no longer SpazzaticsStudio.com. We are now SpazzaticsStudio.wixsite.com/mysite2. Again, everything in the description. Possibly check out the main channel, Spazzatic Studio. I actually uploaded 2 really cool videos for you guys. One of them is a long form inking video for June. And yeah, I am trying to pump out as much content as I can because the first week of July I'm going to be starting a nursing and clinician education program for my new job. And I know that I'm going to be real busy, but I don't want to leave the Spazzies, or the Spazzlings. It feels like I hatched you guys out of an egg. Like I'm the Spazz and then I like lay an egg and then it hatches and I have all my little like Spazzlings. So come join the Spazzlings over on Patreon. And yeah, thank you for watching. If you make a party box, please God, let me know and DM me a picture. I would so love to see it. And that's it. I love you. Bye.